everybody has somebody who has been either killed or injured or has been to jail. Practically every person in the West Bank. Daily life is the occupation. Thousands of people that have been forced out of their homes over the course of past several months. The life of a Palestinian in the West Bank is shaped thoroughly by the occupation. Thousands of people that have been forced out of their homes over the course of the past several months. And it's likely that there are going to be thousands more. But, you know, in terms of effect on a daily life, it's difficult really to say how does the occupation or the settler violence or the army affect your daily life, because you don't really have a daily life. Your daily life is the occupation, and you live under constant threat of attack. And you know, children from a very young age, you know, some of the first words that they learn are, you know, guns, army, settlers, attack, and so on. And you know, you have to every night there are risks of attack, so you need to keep somebody awake in order to warn people in case there is an attack. Everybody has somebody who has been either killed or injured or has been to jail. Practically every person in the West Bank, you know, is directly related to somebody who has been either jailed, killed, or injured. And you know, this is not even speaking about the very basic things like clean water and electricity, which we take for granted, which in the West Bank are incredibly unstable. And this is also part of the overall strategy by the occupation to make the Palestinian life in the West Bank untenable and to force people to leave. So the life of a Palestinian in the West Bank is shaped thoroughly by the occupation. In the past week, there have been so many attacks that it's physically impossible to report on all of them. It's impossible to report even on a fraction of them. So the journalists are really stretched thin right now, especially in the Nablus governorate, where most of the attacks currently concentrate, with daily pogroms, with houses, mosques, and cars being burnt, with people being sent to the hospital. Massive attacks that includes hundreds of settlers and dozens of soldiers, where they work in close coordination. And honestly, it seems like this is just the beginning, because the Minister of Defense of Israel, named Israel Katz, has declared that they will invade and you know, empty another refugee camp, like they already did in Jenin and Tulkarem a year and a half ago. Now it seems that they want to move on to take over new refugee camps, and it's likely going to be either Askar or Balata in Nablus. And of course, it won't stop there. There are many more refugee camps in the West Bank, and likely they will be targeted by Israeli army attacks alongside the settler attacks in Area C, which, you know, have been escalating since 2021 non-stop. There hasn't really been a month since 2021 that was better than the previous month. Every month there is something worse. There are more attacks, more settlers, more terror outposts, and more financing and endorsement from the Israeli government being poured into the settler movement, which is, you know, the front line of the attacks, with the state, the army, the police, and the courts being the back line that is supporting and facilitating the settler violence.